Yep, been here all night long. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Tatum, and I'm back with Kara for Women's Wellness Wednesday. Thank you again for being here with me.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
I think we're going to start out with the winter meditations with Native American elders. So Barry told me to read this and told me, his way of doing it, and I was like, no, we're going to do it our way, right?
Yep.
All right. So today is February 5th. Let the person I serve express his thanks according to his own bringing up and his sense of humor. Dr. Charles A. Eastman. It is better to give than receive, but it doesn't really matter if we are giving or receiving. There is an identical feeling associated with both. We get this feeling every time we receive, and we get this feeling every time we give. We can't control when we receive gifts, but we can control when we give gifts. Therefore, the more we give, the better we feel. When we are given gifts or someone does something for us, it is the Indian way to honor this person. Great Spirit, let me honor and be respectful to those who are good to me today. I like that one. That was a bit of a tongue twister. It says
It sounded like it. Yeah.
it says giving, give gifts a lot in there.
I love giving gifts.
Me too.
You know that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a love language for
Yep.
sure. And
Yep.
what's your take on that morning meditation?
Well, basically just, be good to others and good will come to you. Giving gifts is a part of our culture and something that we've always done traditionally. And it's good that we still do that today, So
Absolutely. I feel like in recovery, like they say the gift that was given to me is sobriety and freedom, and freedom from self in this whole recovery journey. And so now I get to show up and do things like this, podcast, and um, just I get to give that way. Anyone that people send me a message and want to know, I feel like I can give back by just sharing my experiences, sharing my life with other people. And some people are ashamed, of their journey and stuff. But honestly, today, like I'm pretty proud. I'm proud
You should be.
of where life has taken me and what it's taken me through, to get here. So.
Mhm. And you are a gift of a person. You truly are. Everybody that, knows Tatum knows that. She's constantly thinking about other people and how she can help people and how she can connect and help the youth. And I mean, just really a beautiful person all around.
Thank you, Kara.
You're welcome.
You're so sweet. And I could say the same about you, like I'm just talking to you about what's going on with my home life and stuff, and you don't even hesitate to offer, your house, your time, anything, like. And I feel like that's what we have to do, we have to uplift people and be a safe space.
Yep. We all know what it likes to not. We all know what it's like to go through difficult times and to not have that safe place. So I think that's where I tried to reach out to other people and help them because I know what it's like. And when you have people that you care about, I think it's important to lift each other up. It's kind of a give and a take like that says, I was going through a hard time not too long ago and you were there for me. And so we kind of balance each other,
Yeah,
friendship, even work-life balance. Um, it's a give and take.
definitely. Yeah, let's see. there's an identical feeling associated with both. We get this feeling every time we receive, and we get this feeling every time we give. I try to find something out of each day, something that I can take out of each day, a lesson. And whether that's a hard lesson, a negative lesson, something negative that happened, I try to see, like, find some good in that.
Like, what's it teaching you?
Yes, maybe I've, lately I've just been dealing with some hard stuff at home, and um, I'm not afraid to talk about it because I feel like, maybe it could help someone else. But been dealing with some, I guess, some toxic behaviors that
Mhm.
I still want to, break those generational curses and
Yep.
those things that were passed down. And in life, I'm not confrontational.
Me
So
either.
I'm so quick to walk on eggshells around anyone,
Mhm.
to protect the peace, to,
Yep.
you know, and
People please. Make
people,
people happy. Yep.
yes, I'm a big people pleaser.
Me
And
too.
lately I've been finding my voice. Um, my woman's meditation this morning, it says, in recovery, we're not swayed by, um, basically an outside force.
Mhm.
We are not like, we gain our own way of, uh, we gain I don't want to say our own way of thinking, because you do learn a whole new way of thinking in recovery, but we're able to, make choices for ourselves that are actually beneficial, you
Yep.
know?
Yep. And it just like we were talking earlier, it's not a form of disrespect to set boundaries with people, like even family members, maybe even elder family members. Just because someone is an elder doesn't mean that they are allowed to be abusive towards you. Um, so you have to set boundaries to protect yourself.
Mhm. And I guess that's what, like, you would think that I wouldn't have a hard time with that.
Oh, it's
Um,
hard. It's hard.
in this whole journey, over 2 years of learning who I am,
Mhm.
what I stand for, and what I'm capable of. But before I got sober, I didn't care about other people's feelings
Mhm.
and how my words affected them,
Right.
and now I do.
Mhm.
And then I cared so much so that I would protect their feelings over mine.
Mhm.
And that's been a hard thing, because I'm a huge, like, advocate for, you deserve the love you give. You deserve the respect that you give to
Mhm.
others. But then I realized that I wasn't standing on my own values and my own morals by allowing other people to treat me poorly, you
Yep.
know?
Yep.
So,
And you don't deserve that either. No one does. And that's where we have to learn, and like you said, unlearn those things that we were taught, or practices that are unhealthy in our families.
mhm,
We have to change for our kids, for our grandkids, even thinking that far ahead. It starts with us.
absolutely. Yeah, I try to lead by example, and but then also accepting, you can't change others. You can only be
Mm-mm,
the light.
you can't. And that's hard too, is um sometimes you have to cut people out of your life, and that's really painful. But at the same time, like you said, you can't change people, so you can't continue to allow people to be abusive towards you, or to step over your boundaries, you
Mhm.
know, and sometimes that's necessary for your own peace, your own mental health, your own well being.
Right. Definitely. Let's say good morning to everyone who's on here.
Cheyenne,
Good morning.
third. How do you scroll up? Do you know?
Mm, I do not.
Janice, Paula, Kimberly, Mary, that's my cousin.
Really?
Yeah, Dina, Rita. Can you scroll up a little bit, John? No, it's okay. We were just saying hi to everyone. Paula, Janelle, David. Oh, Cassandra.
Hi.
Oh, Richard. Hi, Richard.
Let's
Aw.
just do like a mental check-in. Like how do you feel this morning?
How are you guys doing this morning?
Yeah.
How's your mental health? Hi, Rain. We just saw you, your beautiful self. Speaking that codependent recovery. Yep. Richard says, speaking these truths helps everyone who hears. Thank you, ladies, for caring about others and sharing. Thank you, Richard. Hi, Misty. Hi, Jen.
That's what
Hi, Norman.
I was I just had a thought. I was filling out a thing online yesterday for my PRSS training that I'm about to do, and it said, "What does recovery mean to you?" And I put on there like, and I had to put some thought into it because like recovery to me means so many things. Like,
Mhm.
and at first recovery was life or death.
Mhm.
And now recovery is a beautiful way to use my pain and share it with others, you know?
Mhm.
And this is just funny, but I'm sitting on the couch with my mom and I'm filling out these questions, and it says, "What inspirational quotes do you use when you're going through a hard time?" And my mom goes, "Uh, I don't know, get over it, suck it up." And I'm not gonna sing it, but she goes, "You can do it, put your back into it."
That's my favorite.
And I was like, "Girl."
Ice Cube, man.
But
Ice Cube.
like I was really stumped on this question for a minute, you know? Like, what do I do? And then I immediately go into positive affirmations, you
Mhm.
know? Um, like, on a hard day, you have come way too far to look back now.
Mhm.
You know, I like you are worthy of a sober life, or you are
Mhm.
worthy of a healthy life, you
Yeah.
know?
And healthy love. Yep.
Healthy love, um, worthy of respect, just the way that we talk to ourselves is
Mhm.
so important.
It is. And that's a hard habit to break too. That negative self-talk or talking down about your own self, you know. You deserve better than that too, you know. You got to
Mhm.
switch that mindset. It's so hard. I still catch myself like that was stupid. Like, talking down to myself, like I
Yes.
don't want anyone to talk to my daughter that way or my son that way. And I don't want them to speak that way about themselves, so why am I doing that? You
Right.
know? Healthy mindset. It's hard, but it's almost like training, you know, training yourself, training your mind to think positive, to speak kindly to yourself.
Mhm. In recovery we learn about doing the next right thing. And so I was talking to some ladies here actually, and they said, you do the next right thing, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about stress about things. But this is just speaking my truth. I am still a human being,
Mhm.
you know? I'm
Yep.
still going to make mistakes. I'm
Yep.
still going to do things that I have to apologize for. And
Mhm.
another thing I learned in recovery is that you get to apologize for them quickly rather
Yeah.
than, waiting around and
Yep.
allowing someone to create that resentment. Yesterday, I looked at Josie and I said, "Here, go plug this phone in." And I cannot stand when that little girl like barks at me, like,
Mhm.
"Go get me a snack."
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, "No, just ask nicely." But I did the same thing to her.
Right. Yep.
And so, just because I'm her mom doesn't mean that I
Mhm.
can't say, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for talking to you like that," you
Yep.
know? Like, I feel like we can create
That is
a
important.
mutual respect with our children
That is
too.
very important. Yep. Recognizing them and treating them like human beings and treating them with kindness and respect the way we want to be treated. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with apologizing to your kids. I apologize to my kids all the time because like you said, I'm human. I
Mhm.
make mistakes. I'm still unlearning things that were passed down to me. So I apologize to my kids all the time. And it's so important.
Yeah, definitely. I have been come in contact with one person who could not apologize
Yep.
no matter what.
Yep.
And this was just a toxic relationship that I was in, but I would try and force him to apologize.
Yeah.
Like you you cannot force someone to apologize to you, you know? And
Because if they don't mean it, it means nothing.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've learned that it's okay to apologize now, you
Mhm.
know? It's okay to be wrong and make mistakes, but
Yep. We all do.
yeah, just got to get up the next day and try again, try to be a little bit
Mhm.
better, you know? In my prayers, I've started really praying a lot for patience. I feel like as a mom, sometimes you are in like fight or flight because
Constantly.
you
Yep.
have there's so much, you know, there's so much on my plate,
Mhm.
so much that I want to do in one day, and there's just never enough time. But being okay with whatever I get done that day, you know,
Mhm.
and just being at peace with that.
Yep. Doing what you can do. Doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to accomplish your whole to-do list, you know. You have to give yourself grace. And you have to give yourself permission to rest too.
Mhm.
That's important.
Definitely. In filling out that PRSS, it also asked me to like short-term goals
Mhm.
that I have. And like my big goal right now, I guess, is just to use my recovery to help people. And then as far as goals go, like I just have to take one day at a time, one thing at a
Mhm.
time, sometimes one foot in front of the other,
Yep.
you know?
I want
So I kind of almost don't like the thought of having goals because I feel like that's getting me out of my one day at a time, you know?
Yeah.
And it's okay to have goals and, you know, set the bar high for yourself.
Yeah.
But
And don't beat yourself up if something comes along the way and you have to rest or, I get what you're
mhm,
saying. Totally.
definitely. She said, "My mom was great about apologizing and admitting her faults that negatively affected her kids. It made the world of difference to
It
me."
does. I like what Richard and I have talked. Richard's my one of my good friends. He said my grandma used to tell me never break their spirit. He and I have talked about returning back to those traditional ways of parenting, which our people, Arapaho people, Cheyenne people, um, they were gentle with their kids. No, they did not hit their kids. They were teachers to their kids, and I really want to see a shift in our community, our Native communities, where we return to those practices of being gentle, being teachers to our children, because that is what we used to do.
Mhm.
And then Sharon says, currently learning and practicing about self care. I truly enjoyed listening to these conversations, always learning something new and to add things to my daily routine. Thank you, ladies, for sharing. Thank you for sharing that, Sharon. It's important to care for yourself and to take care of yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually.
Absolutely. Give yourself grace, you know?
Hmm.
That's what I'm learning. I like what you said about like being more, you know, being gentle and taking it back and yeah, uh don't crush, you know, your kids' spirits.
Yep.
I've been given a lot of tough love in my life and I have felt so conflicted lately because, you know, we can be gentle with our kids as long as we have them in our care, but that doesn't mean that the world will be gentle on them.
Hmm.
You know, the world is tough. The world is unfair sometimes. You
Hmm.
know, the other day, my brothers, their school was canceled because of the flu. Their
Hmm.
school closed down, but Darlington did not. You know,
Yep.
and Josie just was crying and crying, saying how unfair that was
Yeah.
that she had to go to school and her uncles got to stay home. And I said, Josie, sometimes life isn't fair, you
Hmm.
know. So I don't want to
that's a teaching opportunity, and
Yeah.
you did good by teaching that. And people confuse being gentle with kids as not teaching them hard lessons, and that's not the case at all. It's
Mhm.
just having that respect for them and treating them with respect and kindness. That's what it's really about. Um, my older kids they've taught me so much on this parenting journey, because parenting is a journey.
Definitely.
It's a journey. It's a tough one too. But I remember, and forgive me if I get emotional, but um, my son told me one time, because Native communities, man, we tease hard. We tease our
Mhm.
kids so hard sometimes, and sometimes we hurt them, And he told me, he said, "You're being a bully," and I was, but it woke me up inside. I was like, God, I'm gonna be the first person to bully my kids. I don't want to be that person. And that is where we take a step back, and we let them tell us, "Hey, you hurt my feelings." Gives us an opportunity to apologize, right?
Mhm.
And then it changes our perspective. And maybe I should treat him a little more gentle with a little more kindness, because he deserves that, you know? So,
Definitely.
but you still have to, like you said, life is not fair. I was just telling Ashton that the other day too. It's funny that you brought that up. You can't always get what you want in life.
Mhm.
It doesn't work like that. We all wish it worked like that. But it's that teaching moment and that teaching opportunity. And doesn't have to use force. It doesn't have to bully. It doesn't have to be hard. It
Right.
talk to them how you would want to be talked to. How do you learn?
Absolutely. That's you kind of just took the words out of my mouth because of the way that I was conflicted with this. My mom still gives me tough love, but and I need that tough love sometimes, but there is a way that can be um what's the word I'm looking for? Encouraging,
Hmm.
but also
Firm.
firm.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can get real with someone without getting real with them like that. You know what
Yep.
I mean?
Yep.
Like sometimes I just have to sit Josie down and say, "Look,
Yep.
this is where we're at. This is what's happening." You know, um, without being mean about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of jokes that go on in our family too. And my brothers are getting older. Man, they're 12, 10, and 9, and um, the 12-year-old. He's getting to that point where he's becoming a not a man, but
A young
a
man. Yep. Yep.
teenager. And instead of teasing him, I want to teach him,
Mm-hmm.
and it started with a lot of teasing, though it has.
Yeah.
We're like, "Boy, you need deodorant." Like,
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Teasing is that, and laughing, man. That's one of my favorite things about our culture.
mhm.
Is our native people are always laughing. I mean, you can. We were at the breakfast. The tribe had an employee breakfast yesterday, and I'm walking with my back towards the crowd making elder plates, and I just hear this big burst of laughter, this big burst of yeah, and I automatically knew it was my sister.
Really?
My sister and Ashley. But so there's nothing wrong with teasing and um, laughing. I love that our people do, but in a not a mean way, not a malicious way. Not to where
Definitely.
you're gonna hurt your child.
Mhm.
But man, yeah, you could hear them too from across the whole respect gym. Everybody knows.
Laughter is the best.
It is.
When you are I take a lot of things back to my addiction and my recovery, because that's just where I'm at. But when you're in addiction, you are, or just for me personally, I was fighting to not feel,
Mhm.
and so getting sober, I had this moment, and I don't even remember exactly what was going on in my home. I live in my home with my mom, my daughter, and my three brothers,
Mhm.
and there's a saying that in order to feel joy, you must first know what great pain is.
Mhm.
And the first time that I realized what I was feeling was joy after getting sober is when the kids made me laugh so hard that I cried. And that was like my moment of like, oh my gosh, this is what joy feels like. Like I am actually capable of feeling something this good,
Yep.
without drugs or without alcohol or,
Mhm.
any substance of my body. Like children are medicine,
Oh my God, yes.
laughter is medicine. Like
Yes.
making those memories that you can actually remember.
Mhm.
Oh, it's good stuff.
I love being around our kids. We were talking about, I used to work in foster care, and I had some of the best time with those kids, the truly healing. And those kids are going through like some of the most hard times in their life, yet they still find a way to be healing to us. They still find a way to be medicine for us.
Mm,
I love our kids. I love all kids. Big
definitely.
advocate for them.
They're the next generation.
Yeah, and I just, man, our kids go to Darlington. Tatum and Ashton, or Josie and Ashton are kids. They've been friends since daycare.
Mhm.
They go to the same school, but we see each other sometimes at school. And whenever I walk through Darlington, I see all our beautiful little Indian kids. Native kids. I just beam with pride. That's the next generation coming up, and that's why we have to work on ourselves and work on making our families healthier, creating a healthy, loving environment for them so they can rise up and be the leaders that we need them to be too.
Definitely.
They're going to be taking our places. We want them, they're going to be having kids, someday. We want them to have good, healthy families, happy families,
Mhm.
safe environments, you know. But I think about that all the time when I walk through there.
It's a good thing to see. I was doing one of the I was talking to one of the Darlington teachers, and I actually do her hair, and I told her about I hope it's okay to share this, a story of one of the teachers back in the day, the Darlington teachers would take Christmas gifts to some of the students' houses on Christmas morning when they knew that they probably weren't getting anything,
Mhm.
And I told her how much of an impact that made on a person in my life. Um, they shared with me, the impact that made on their life. And she said, now we don't really have to worry about those things anymore.
Mhm.
Our parents are doing so much better.
Yeah.
And there will always be those that struggle,
Yeah.
that struggle with addiction.
That
But
trauma.
yes, that trauma that need to escape.
Mhm.
But I feel like these programs, tour, just
Yep.
these programs within the tribe, the impact that they're making on everyone
Tradition,
is,
not addiction.
yes, is beautiful.
My friend, my late friend Clara, but she had a real passion for that program. She's got the grant for tradition, not addiction. But a lot of it started there. Like, and they saw the big picture. They saw, and they even did research on how participating in our traditional activities was healing in our communities, curbing that addiction, and talking, having these difficult conversations, and talking about our traumas, but that's the first step of healing.
Hmm.
you know the first step healing. I'm so proud of these programs, especially Tor too, because they are out in the communities. They are out doing the hard work. They are out there talking about things that no one's ever talked about before,
Right.
but actually saving lives in our communities. And that it's so important.
Hmm. They're doing good work.
Yep.
Children are medicine. Yes.
And they are. Hi, Erin.
I have this little.
I know I keep grabbing my water. I have to constantly drink water. My throat is always dry.
I have this book, and I used to have a journal for bad days, and this was supposed to be my journal for happy days.
Oh, I
But
like that. That's cute.
it basically I wrote in here every holiday, every special occasion that I made it through sober my first year.
Oh,
So
awesome.
like I wrote about my birthday, like it was my first birthday that I spent sober since I guess the year I was pregnant with Josie. You know, I was 19.
Hmm.
Um
How was that for you? Was it hard?
being pregnant
No, being sober on the first time being sober.
on my birthday.
Yeah, did you reflect? I mean, how was that experience?
Hmm. Well, this is all I wrote about it. I've spent so many days. This was June 22nd. My birthday's the 21st, 2023. Yesterday I celebrated my 25th birthday sober. Another small victory, but my first sober birthday since 2018. And honestly, thinking back to that, I can remember a small sense of loneliness, you
Hmm.
know? And I feel like as you get older, your birthdays do become more of just another day, you
Hmm.
know?
Yep.
But what I do on my birthday is I celebrate me the way that I want to be celebrated.
Yeah.
And I celebrate I do all the things that make me happy, like self-care. I either get my nails done, I'll get a
Hmm.
massage, take myself out to lunch.
Yeah.
So I think that those are beautiful things that I was able to do sober rather than when I was in addiction, I was worrying about how soon I could get drunk on my
Hmm.
birthday, you
I
know?
think when you get older too, you're okay with spending that time by yourself, you
Mhm.
know, and taking me time. Whereas when you're younger, you want to be around a bunch of people. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah,
there's probably a shift in that for you too as you get
definitely.
older.
I know Josie wants to do gymnastics, and I told her that there was a parents' night out coming in the next few Fridays where she could go and do gymnastics, and I would
Hmm.
sign her up, and that way she could try it out before actually, going all in.
Hmm.
And she said, "Well, I can't go by myself." And I said, "Josie," said, "you are so brave and so strong. Like you can do anything by yourself, you know?"
Hmm.
And I told her, which I mean, I know it's very different for her. She's younger and she feels that sense of safety with me being there.
Right. Right.
Said, "Man, I love and appreciate when I get to do things by myself,
Yep.
just how good that feels."
Hmm.
But yeah, I have actually started I do my
I like
affirmations in
that.
here. Um I have a dream of like writing a book of my life, an autobiography,
Yeah.
and I kind of started that in here too. But we'll see where that goes. That's
You
taken
should
off
read that.
slowly. You want me to read my
If you
affirmations?
don't mind, that's some good stuff right there.
Yeah. Okay, these are my affirmations from I had gratitude and affirmations on October 23rd, 2023, but now I'm going to share them with you guys and they're for you. So I'm grateful for my higher power, my sobriety, my daughter, my family, friends, and loved ones, my pain and my scars, my career, Alcoholics Anonymous, Cindy, which was my sponsor, my home, my health, my strength, my world, nature, the sun, the moon, and the stars, my car that provides safe transportation, lessons, my life, and love. And these are my affirmations. I'm strong. I'm capable of great things. I'm a good and present mother. I'm a good sister, daughter, and friend. I will be successful. I will stay sober. I will put Josie and myself first in any situation. I am not my past. I am worthy of love and happiness. I will live an abundant life. I am blessed and I am grateful.
Good stuff.
And it's crazy how, like, okay, so you could wake up in a bad mood, right? You could wake up feeling like, man, I don't even want to be awake right now. And you pull out a pen and some paper
Hmm.
and you just begin to write down a few things that you might be grateful for or a few
Yep.
positive things about yourself and how that can change your thought process
Yep.
for the day.
The whole changes shifts the whole mood.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Do you do those with Josie? I do those with Ashton in
Yeah.
the mirror when we get ready.
She says, well, we do ours on our way to school. And she says, can we, she doesn't know, like, she won't call it positive affirmations, but
That's a
she
big
says,
word. Yep.
yeah, it is. She'll say, can we just say those nice things, you know?
Yeah.
Can we just say those, like, nice words? And I'm like, yeah. And if she's nervous, you know, about leaving me, was it you that shared with me about writing a heart
The heart. Yep.
on
We do that every
Anna's
morning.
hand?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Yes, Erin, it's women's wellness.
That is
Does she like that? Did you try that?
I did try it. She was a little upset about the Sharpie not coming off because I used a Sharpie because anything else would just. So I tell her that I put some of my bravery and my strength and my love in my hand, and I tell her to take it and put it in her pocket.
Oh,
Put that in your pocket, and you'll have it with you all day. You
yeah,
know.
that it really does work. Ashton likes that. I got that from I want to say TikTok.
Really.
But I draw a little heart on his hand every morning, and because he's scared to go to school, and he's really attached to me. We have a strong bond, and if you think about when you were a kid, how you felt when leaving your parents, you know, or being away from your caretaker. So we started drawing the heart on his hand, and every morning I tell him, you know, what does this mean? And he was like, I carry mommy's love. I said, yep, you do, and you don't have to be afraid, you know, because you have my love with you, and that helps him. So he likes that. Every morning he asks for it. Sometimes I'm in a hurry and I'll forget. He'll say, "What about my heart?" And I'll say, "Oh yeah." I take a moment to pause, draw a little heart. It takes 2 seconds, you know,
Yeah.
and it makes him feel better.
That's so sweet. I love that.
And then we say our prayer to
Mhm.
Creator Maheo, and that starts his day.
That's good.
Yep. He's funny. Ashton is so funny. You've been around him. He's not a morning person sometimes, so he'll wake up grouchy
Neither
sometimes.
is Josie.
And so, you know, and he gets that from me. I'm not really or I am a morning person now. When I was a kid, I was not either. But we're doing like his affirmations when I'm fixing his hair in the morning. I'll say, you know, you're so smart. You know, you're so kind. And, you know, I want you to say these back. And he was like, I'm so smart, so kind. Like he'll be real mad sometimes. Yeah, just grouchy in the morning. And but after that, after we get through that process, his mood does lift. You know, his mood shifts a little bit. He's a little bit happier, not so grumpy.
That's good.
Yeah. So you said Josie's not a morning person either?
No. I have tried many approaches in the mornings with her, and it just so happens that I'm not a morning person either. And it's not that I'm grumpy in the morning, I'm just never on time.
Yeah, me either, girl.
And
it's that native in you.
when I first started, like when I first met with my sponsor, they teach you that if you say that you're going to meet with your sponsor, you meet with them when you say, you know, you keep your word, and that's just all about being honest and yeah, being a woman of my word, you know.
Yep.
And I told my sponsor one day, I said, I'm so sorry I'm late, you know, and she's like, I said, you know, I've been wanting to work on my time management skill. And she said, Tatum, sometimes for some people, that's just something that doesn't get better.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And I have a saying that is a queen is never late, everyone else is simply early.
Yep. It's
and
it's hard. It is hard.
That works for some people, but not for everyone.
Yeah. Not for native queens.
And so
or kings.
In the morning with Josie, I've tried many approaches. If she talks in her sleep, I tell her about what she says and she laughs, and that sets a good tone, you know? But when we're late, you know, when you're running late in the mornings, it's so easy to yell at your kids and be like, come on, hurry up, you know, get it together. So I've tried this new approach with Josie, and I say, okay, here's the game plan. We woke up late. Your clothes are already laid out. She lays her clothes out the night before. Say, I need you to brush your hair and brush your teeth, and let's do this, you know. And she even started doing the whole like put your foot like, you know. And then we're like, break, and so that's her thing, but or that's our thing that helps us get through the mornings without yelling.
Yep.
Man, you know, I do not like to start my day like that.
No, nobody does. And that's the kind of environment I grew up in. And remember, I was telling you, my kids have taught me things, right? And I grew up like that. My mom was constantly yelling. It was chaos in the morning, and I get it, man. My mom had it rough, and she had 4 kids to get ready, and it was hard times back then. But my daughter was 11 years old when this happened, Kirsten, and I was doing the same thing. Get up, hurry up, chaos.
Mhm.
And she looked at me and she's got tears in her eyes and she said, "Mom," she was like, "Do you like being yelled at first thing in the morning?"
Mm.
And I stopped dead in my tracks and I'm like, "No." Like I hated that when I was a kid. And that she told me, she's like, "You ruin our mornings every morning." And to hear that from your kid, man, that woke me up. And I'm like, I don't want to ruin my kid's morning. Why am I doing this? Take a
Right.
step back. How can we do this better? How can I do this better? How can I be better? And like you said, it's chaotic, for our kids. So you have to find what works for you.
Mhm.
If you're getting overwhelmed, I get overwhelmed all the time. I get triggered,
Yes.
you know. So I have to take a step back. I have to say I need 5 minutes, or I go outside, or you know, pray, do whatever works for you,
Mhm.
and don't create that environment of chaos for your kids.
Right.
Change your way of thinking. Change the environment, and
Mhm.
it's so worth it, don't you think?
I agree. And I cannot say that I'm perfect and that I don't still
Mm-mm,
yell in the
me
mornings.
too.
But a realization I had was how I felt fake. I felt fake for waking up and being like, hurry up. And then being like, I love you, honey. Have a great day at school.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You
Like,
already ruined her day. Yep.
yeah. So I can't just take back how I made her feel now,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
And so just that goes back to just waking up every day and trying to be better. And in recovery we learn, I shouldn't say they preach, we learn about prayer and meditation. Starting your day with that prayer and meditation is so important. But
Mhm.
as a busy mom and as someone who wakes up late,
Yeah.
you might not have time for that until after you get your kid off to school
Yep.
or when you're driving. And so I didn't have time to sit, with my eyes closed after my prayers and just meditate. But I did breath work on the way to work the other day, driving,
Mhm.
just deep breathing,
Mhm.
put on some calm music like we have on here, and or some look up some meditation music, and just doing that deep breathing can even bring you back to yourself,
Mhm.
bring you back to that that mellow state.
Mhm.
Helps.
Well, I think we should start doing some challenges for our people out there, our women out there. So I am going to challenge everyone to take a pause in the morning with your kids, if you have kids, or even with yourself, and be a little bit more calm, a little more gentle with your kids. Evaluate your situation and be like, what can I change to make it a more peaceful teaching environment for my kids, for my family? Or if you're by yourself, for yourself, how can you create more peace in your life? How can you create more understanding?
I love that.
Mm-hmm. What about you? What do you think?
But yeah, like if you can take anything from what we said today, or our conversations today, doing that, just slowing down, starting a little bit slower. It can start with something so simple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tell your kid one positive thing about themselves in the morning.
Yep.
Like you're brave, you're strong. It's February, which is the month of love, which I think that every month should be filled with love. And any love that I can put out into the world, I'll do that. But
Mm-hmm.
me and Josie we cut out a bunch of red hearts with construction paper, and it was kind of our little project the other night. And she wrote, oh, I'm going to get emotional maybe. She wrote things on the hearts about me. And she can write, and she is learning to read, but big words she can't spell on her own.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of asking my mom, because it's supposed to be a surprise,
Mm-hmm.
so I wrote a bunch of hearts, and they're in my dresser, and I'm taping a new one to our door each day. And when she went to make mine, she said, "How do you spell you are brave?" And like I pour those words into her, you are brave, you are capable of anything. And then she's writing that back to me. She's
Mhm.
given that back to me. So
That's awesome.
life is a full circle.
Yep. And really, what you pour into your kids? It's matters. It's important. Are you pouring anger into them? Are you pouring, violent? Are you being aggressive? What are you pouring into your kids? That overflows in their school. That overflows into our communities. And like I said in the beginning, like I really want to see a shift in our indigenous communities inside our homes. That's where it starts because it'll overflow into our communities as a whole.
Hmm.
So I want to challenge you guys to take a step back and evaluate inside your home. What kind of environment are you creating? That's right. Your children are a reflection of you. Yep,
And it starts there.
it
And like you
does.
said, going out into the communities, there will be less suffering. There will be less. I'd like to think that there would be less crime, less, you know what I mean? I always think whenever people are in trouble, uh, not justifying anything, but what are they struggling with that is causing them to make those decisions,
Mhm. Yep.
being in addiction stuff myself, like I could go all into it, but
Yep.
we're all criminals. We just, some of us didn't get caught in recovery,
Mhm.
but I think about like I think about what those people are going through, and
The trauma.
definitely just switching things up for our kids is important to me.
Yep. It's a good way to end it today, I think.
I think so too.
Yep. Be kind, be gentler to your kids. Remember
Much
the
love,
challenge. Yep.
everyone.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Yep.
Good.